Hey guys, welcome to another recap of Wandavision. This is episode 8. So, for the simple fact being that it's 9 episode season, that means next week will be the season finale. Excuse me. Um, So let's start off. Wanda's in the basement with Agnes, Agatha Hartnett, and she basically taunts her like, "How did you do it?" Remember, everybody keeps asking her, "How did you do it?" Pietro asked her, um, and there's a funny thing in the dialogue. She said, "That's why I brought Pietro into the mix where I couldn't exactly bring back your dead brother. He was full of holes." Before we start off with that, going back, I forgot something. As everybody's been saying on social media, she's not quite a bad guy, but maybe she's doing somebody else's bidding. That's Agnes. They showed her at the Salem witch trial, which there were rumors that they were gonna address that. It takes me back to high school. I had to watch those movies. Those were ridiculous. Um, and everybody tied her up to a tree and had magical powers and was saying weird stuff like it almost seemed like Harry Potter, like Parisium and all this type of stuff. So it's like you know, yeah, it was crazy. So she was a victim and she's begging off police, and all the people are like chanting, and for some reason they keep um you know they keep um talking about the fact that she's a witch, but they're witches too because they were blasting her with all this type of stuff, and she goes, "Believe me, I could be good, I could do good," and they say you're not good, and one of them was her mother, so she had like 12 or 6 people blasting her, and they had their energy, and then all of a sudden she created the purple energy, and it was almost like Dragon Ball Z or Street Fighter, where I'm waiting for somebody to yell Hadouken or Kamehameha, and all of a sudden everybody that tries to blast her basically turns into that kid from the commercials from a couple weeks ago. They turn into skin and bones. The last one was her mom, and she took that little necklace that everybody's been talking about from the comics. And they fast forward, she's taunting Wanda. She does a little magic tricks, get you, ya ya da da. At one particular point, she takes a rat and no, she takes a bird and feeds it to her rabbit. And so she basically keeps asking Wanda, "How did you do it? How did you do it?" And I gotta give it up to this actress, Catherine. She does a great job, and she brings Wanda back to try to jog her memory to ask her like, how did this all happen? How did you create a fiction world amongst yourself? See, even Agnes realizes Scarlet Witch is the most powerful of them all. Um, she brings her to her place in Skovia where her and her family would have movie night with DVDs. You saw Bewitched, you saw I Love Lucy, and Wanda's favorite, well, they hid it for her to make it a surprise, Dick Van Dyke Show. Then all of a sudden they show her the house blown up, the parents gone, at 10, of course, because they were children, and you saw a Stark, like, weapon. And then you see her, like, before Age of Ultron, where she volunteered. Remember? The twins? She volunteered herself as weapon, and they matched it up that they said she was just as or even more powerful than the the stone the stones. So we go to where she finally has a home with Vision, and he's trying to explain to her human emotion, and she's trying to explain to him, and they're watching Malcolm in the Middle, and they're laughing. When she was before she had joined the Avengers, when she was in the lab, when she had really dark hair. Remember the twins time? She was watching Brady Bunch, and even Agnes is like, so like you want basically a perfect world. So then they show her trying to get Vision's body out, and the guys like the agent guys like talking to her like, look, we're not gonna bury all this expensive special metals, and he could be a valuable weapon. And she's like, but he's more than just a weapon. I'm his next of kin. I'm his family. And the guy's like, at one, a couple of times he says something out of color, and she's like, excuse me. So then what broke the final straw was she's looking down at like operating table where they're like tearing him apart, and she's upstairs in the glass. You know those normal setups. She breaks the glass and scares the shit out of everybody, leaves, jumps in her car, and here's where she came up with Westview. She's just driving. The key word is driving aimlessly. She's driving and seeing all these pedestrians, and then she sees an open slot where a house should be, and she lets out the red ray of light that you've been seeing throughout the series, and she starts replaying things in her head, all the people she's lost. And Agnes mentioned that you lost your brother, you lost your parents, you lost Vision. She's like, I'm digging it, I get it. So all of a sudden she creates this world, she creates this house, and you see Vision and her in black and white where it all started, and he's like, welcome home, and they kiss, and then you see Wanda in the background, then you see an empty studio, she's looking at the empty house, and you see Agnes with that slow Dark Knight Heath Ledger type slow type of clap like that guy in the chair in Mortal Kombat. Liu Kang wins in that slow Artemis clap. And so all of a sudden they wind up back at Agnes' house. Then all of a sudden she hears the children screaming. Fast forward, they're in the front lawn. She has them like at Darth Vader's invisible choke with the purple light, and she's like, "Get off my children!" And she's like, "I just gotta know, how did you do all this? You realize you're the most powerful being it's basically like witch to witch. And then she's like, "You are the ultimate witch. You're the Scarlet Witch." And that's where it ended, but not quite. Daha, daha. What's in the soup? Did you eat the soup? What's with the soup? Does he have a spoon? Ah, what do you know from Funny, you bastards? So anyway, they go to the compound, and the evil general, as much as he likes to claim he got balls, he's surrounded by a bubble because he doesn't want to be trapped in Wanda's spell. He's like, after all this work, we use the energy to recreate him. And we look, and it's another vision. So there's two visions. Because remember, Vision is flying out somewhere looking for Wanda. They created their own vision with all the ray of light that Scarlet Witch has been throwing. And that's how it ends. So next week is supposedly the surprise. And next week is the season finale. Let's see how it all ends. It's been great doing these recaps. I didn't do it from the beginning because honestly it started heating up by episode 5. But I liked it from the beginning anyway. But I just feel I gotta do these recaps. And Andre, just like a wrestling match, brother, it's your turn, man. Hot tag. Much love. I'm Chris Nebbs. Share, subscribe, and make my viewers multiply. I'm just, yeah. No, it's not a joke. Make them multiply. And comment and say nice things. And peace and love to everybody. This is Chris Nebbs, The Dream. I'm out. Just like they say in every Marvel movie, Chris Nebbs will return. Or whoever will return, but in my case, Chris Nebbs, The Dream, will return. And what? And whatever the hell he wants. Good night, guys.